Everyone. We are going to call the council back in session, and we have, I believe, 10 public hearings this afternoon. The first one is item number 7, and this is a public hearing on a supplemental appropriation to Montgomery County's public schools, also known as MCPS, FY20 operating budget in the amount of $1,074,972 for Montgomery County Public Schools Safe Schools Grant. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. Each individual will have 2 minutes to speak. Individuals will be alerted as they approach their 2 minutes and may be disconnected. Also, there may be technical glitches during the public hearing that may need to be addressed by our staff, so thanks in advance for your patience. Susan Kennedy will be calling on people during the public hearing. Ms. Kennedy, it is my understanding that we have no speakers for this public hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. So we are going to close this public hearing, and I need a motion.
So moved.
It was moved by Councilmember Navarro, seconded by Councilmember Rice. Is seconded by Councilmember Rice. I see no discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that is unanimous. Mr. Hucker is not there yet. So it is 8 to 0 to 1, because Mr. Hucker is not, 8 to 0. And when Tom comes back, he might want to tell us what his vote would be. Next item that we have is item number 8, and this is a public hearing on supplemental appropriation of Montgomery County Public Schools FY21 capital budget, an amendment to the FY21 through 26 capital improvements program in the amount of $602,651 for planned life cycle asset replacement. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. Ms. Kennedy, it is my understanding there are no speakers for this public hearing as well.
Correct, no speakers.
Then we will close this public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Councilmember Rice, seconded by Councilmember Navarro. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that too is 8 to 0. The next item that we have is a public hearing on spending control limits that the Montgomery and Prince George's County Councils must set for the FY22 budget of Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission, also known as WSSC. The process requires that the council set annual ceilings for WSSC's proposed FY22 budget with regard to new debt service, water and sewer operating expenses, and the maximum average rate increase. A Transportation and Environment Committee work session is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, October 7th. Persons wishing to submit additional material for the council's consideration should do so by the end of the business day, October 1st. Ms. Kennedy, is my understanding we do have speakers for this public hearing.
That is correct. We do have speakers. Each will have 2 minutes. When I call your name, please unmute yourself and you may begin your testimony. We also have Ms. Diana Lavoie on the line if needed for translation services. So our first speaker for this public hearing is Gordy Brenny. Mr. Brenny, you may begin.
Good afternoon. Gordy Brenny with the Taxpayers League. In 1998, the state stepped in to restructure WSSC, cutting costs by 30%. We ask you to step in now to preempt the state, avoid service interruptions, and keep our rates competitive. WSSC is again approaching insolvency, this time because of COVID-19 revenue impacts. Its cost structure remains unchanged because the council continues to approve above-market rate increases. Poor governance and mismanagement of this bloated cost-plus monopoly threatens service to our county residents. It's time for the council to lead us out of this quote-unquote significant fiscal challenge that your briefing memo only partially addresses. Unbelievably, the proposed rate increases are predicated on an assumption that telework will stop and revenues will bounce back next year. The latest Moody's rating approval came with two important caveats: that WSSC will successfully deal with the COVID revenue threat, and that taxpayers will bail out WSSC if they can't manage costs. Is the county ready for a property tax bailout at the detriment of other programs? The 6.6% and 5.9% alternative proposed rate increases should not be approved. Much lower rate increases will incentivize cost reductions as needed. Both proposals include above-market compensation increases while maintaining a bloated payroll of 1,076 employees whose pay and productivity has declined over the years. A benchmarking study found WSSC has too many managers, engineers, and IT staff. Capital projects are also bloated, with Piscataway sewage treatment and AMI projects having rates of return below their cost of capital, adding to debt service that is perilously close to the underwriting limit of 40%. This doesn't even account for the cost and service level increase that are imposed by WSSC's continued deferral of needed pipe replacement and delays in large diameter water main inspections and repairs. Yes, there is a legacy of poorly controlled consent decree spending, but we can't continue to layer on new foolish spending on top of that and stay afloat. I have many more comments in my written testimony. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Molly Hauk.
I am glad that the Montgomery County and PG County councils have oversight over WSSC, and I urge Montgomery County Council to vote against AMI smart meters. Many consumers, consumer organizations, and regulators across the country have opposed utility smart meters for years. A public utility should work for the public, but it's clear that the WSSC staff wants to install AMA smart meters, and they are trying to persuade the WSSC commissioners to improve them. There are 4 reasons I'm opposed. 1, they're pushing smart meters, AMI smart meters, even though they're a poor investment. They put $100 million in the CIP 9 years ago in 2011, but the commissioners have never voted on it. They'll take their first vote in November of this year. The $100 million estimate is 9 years old, so the actual cost will surely be much higher. 2, the WSSC staff hasn't demonstrated that smart meters are cost-effective. Smart meters are excessive and unnecessary cost to consumers, and they're much more expensive than AMR smart meters. At least 5 state regulatory commissions have rejected utility smart meters because they're not cost-effective: Virginia, California, New Mexico, Indiana, and Massachusetts. Baltimore County and Fairfax Water rejected smart meters because they're not cost-effective. Fairfax Water's rates are half those of WSSC's. The AARP has been warning its members for years about the high cost of utility smart meters. As a consumer, I'd like you to authorize the most cost-effective approaches to dealing with water, which would mean no smart meters. 3, WSSC hired the Arcadis Company in 2018 for $8.5 million to implement AMI smart meters, even though the WSSC commissioners haven't voted on whether to go ahead with them.
Ms. Hauk?
4,
Ms.
don't
Hauk,
authorize...
I'm sorry. My apologies, Ms. Hauk. Your time is up.
Okay, one sentence. Don't authorize unnecessary expenditures.
Thank you very much. We thank you very much. Our next speaker is Robert Janku.
Hello, my name is Robert Janku. I have listened to the WSSC board meetings for the last 6 months. The staff seems unaware of the changing economics of the present situation. WSSC wants to spend $100 million on AMI meters. Fairfax Water rejected AMI meters because of the high cost and has gone with cheaper alternatives. WSSC should start by suspending their AMI meter conversion, then exploring cheaper alternatives. The staff asserts there will be a savings starting with year 7. What is not mentioned is that DC Water has replaced their AMI meters, I believe, twice. Badger Meter released a press release including Dr. Scott's research showing that utilities are updating AMI systems on an average of 8.2 years. Replacing meters every 8 years is not a formula for saving money. WSSC already has self-meter reading program. I suggest expanding this program by giving a discount for self-meter reading, which people will want to do now in the economic situation. I want to point out the work of Maryland House Delegate Alfred Al Carr. He has been following WSSC closely. I sent you some of the information Al collected. Al has demonstrated a knowledge of local water companies and a detailed knowledge of WSSC. I suggest you hire Al Carr to make a report on WSSC potential cost savings. Yes, I believe that WSSC should be more focused on cost savings. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Natalie Rosser.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Hi, I attest and affirm that the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. Be advised that the debt service calculations for the AMI Smart Meter project specifically are based on outdated figures. AMI schedule and expenditure estimates originate from a March 2011 study. Increases in both the amount of customers served and the cost of equipment since 2011 have not been accounted for over the years, rendering the current $100 million expenditure a gross underestimate and resulting in the debt needs projections being far less than what they ought to be. In addition, one would be mistaken to believe that the increasing rates will resolve WSSC's financial problems, with the existing stagnant revenue stream taking certain measures such as better managing operating costs and not implementing debt-generating projects will help to keep rate increases within inflation. In regard to the AMI project, after taking into account, one, the various recurring costs associated with completely digitalizing its infrastructure, and two, the return on investment does not cover debt service costs. Therefore, AMI will continue to be a financial burden to ratepayers for years to come. Lastly, the proposal to increase customer rates during very financially challenging times needs to be reevaluated. WSSC reported that in fiscal year 2020, its total customer assistance program participants exceeded 13,500 customers. Utility affordability has been exacerbated by COVID-19. I also have a serious grievance with rates increasing based on debt services for CIP projects that have not been approved and may never come to fruition. I urge the Council to require an updated report made free and easily accessible to the inquiring public, to remove AMI from the CIP, and to reject the proposed rate increase. I have presented no matter of mere concern or any other non-substantive matter, but solely matters of substance, of fact, and law. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Anna Pritchard.
Hello, thank you very much. My name is Anna Pritchard. I'm a retired registered nurse. I am opposed to the installation of smart water meters from WSSC for several reasons. Number one, cost. They are too costly at this time of COVID-19. The economics of WSSC's installation of smart meters is based on a 2011 study that has not been updated. There is a possibility that the cost will be much greater than the estimated $100 million. There is not a common consensus among water utility companies that AMI smart meters are cost-effective. At least 5 states, including Virginia, rejected the utility smart meter proposal due to exorbitant costs and lack of consumer benefit. Virginia's Fairfax Water determined that implementing AMI was not cost-effective and rejected it, resulting in Fairfax, Virginia, keeping their customers' rates low. The increased cost of our water bills will be needless and very difficult for many WSSC customers to pay. This is not the time to increase any expense to consumers. People are dying, having losses of loved ones, losing their jobs, being evicted, becoming homeless, etc. Please do not enable installation of smart water meters on or in our homes at this time. 2, health concerns. Smart water meters emit radiation several times a minute. As I understand it, Dr. Lika Kaifitz has ties to the telecom industry, and she presented testimony about health concerns of these meters, but did not report on the true dangers of smart meters. In her article, How Dangerous is Your Smart Meter, by Dr. Amy Myers, MD, She wrote that there are many symptoms and health effects from wireless smart meters. Wireless frequency has been studied and been found to be harmful to us. We should be trying to reduce our exposure to it, not increasing it. I had a personal experience with the severe effects of Pepco's smart meter installation on my home, which I don't have time to talk about, but it will be in my written testimony. Number 3, other reasons smart meters...
Ms. Pritchard, my apologies. Your time is up.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. That concludes the speakers for this public hearing.
Thank you very much. This closes this public hearing. And there again, a Transportation and Environment Committee work session is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, October 7th. The next item that we have is item number 10. This is a public hearing on a supplemental appropriation to the county government's FY21 operating budget for the Department of Transportation in the amount of $70,574 for streets and roads, roadsides, trees, protection. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. Ms. Kennedy, it is my understanding there are no speakers for this hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Then this closes the public hearing, and we need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Navarro, seconded by Councilmember Reamer. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand, and that carries 9-0. Thank you very much. Councilman Hawker, I see that you are back. We did vote on items 7 and 8 prior, and you obviously you were not here for those votes. I didn't know if you wanted to weigh in on them.
I apologize for being delayed in another meeting. But what was the 7 and 8?
7 was for the operating budget for Montgomery County Public Schools for the Safe Schools Grant source of funds, state aid, and item number 8 was for the Montgomery County Public Schools capital budget, the capital improvements program in the amount of $602,651 for planned life cycle asset replacement. The first one is for $1,074,972.
I'd certainly like to be recorded in the affirmative. Thank you so much for bringing it up.
For both of them, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a feeling that might be the case. The next item that we have is item number 11, and this is a public hearing on a special appropriation to the county government's FY21 operating budget for the Early Care and Education Non-Departmental Account, COVID-19, in the amount of $7,687,000 for school-age child care during distance learning. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. Ms. Kennedy, is my understanding we do have speakers for this hearing.
Yes, we do. Our first speaker for this public hearing is Kimberly Rusnak. Ms. Rusnak, you may begin.
Great, thank you. I'm Kimberly Rusnak, Project Director of the Children's Opportunity Fund, an impact initiative of the Greater Washington Community Foundation. I applaud the County Council and DHHS for this proposal to support child care for school-age children. Since August, the Children's Opportunity Fund has raised over $500,000 in private funds to support child care scholarships to help our low-income children and working parents go to work knowing their kids have the care and support needed to fully engage in virtual learning. Our focus has been on equity and access. Our goal is to support scholarships for kindergarten through 5th grade students in Title I schools in Montgomery County. We recognize the challenges of DHHS getting this up and running quickly, and because we got a head start, we want to partner with you to get this work done. Along the way, we have learned that outreach is a major challenge. We've been successful by working intentionally at the school level to collaborate with teachers, counselors, and principals. We have prioritized disconnected children for enrollment in the hubs, so school staff have become important allies as they know who is connected or not. The Children's Opportunity Fund is fortunate to be able to reduce the barriers of entry for families. We have simplified the application process so that it's not cumbersome or overwhelming. We also have the flexibility to support families that might not be covered by the more stringent state subsidy requirements. We have found a solution that is nimble, and we are happy to work with you to serve our students in greatest need now. Word is starting to spread and demand is increasing. If there is a promise or guarantee of public funds to sustain this work, we could be more rapid in our current efforts. This need is not going away. There is still much uncertainty about the rest of the school year, but we need to start planning now so that we can respond quickly once the next decisions are made regarding school openings. In partnership with the Black and Brown Coalition, we will be presenting to the Council again around this topic on October 5th. This is the right thing to do for our children and their families. We have the solution, and we look forward to working with you to lead and expand this work throughout Montgomery County. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Will Corbin. Mr. Corbin, you may unmute and begin.
Hello, esteemed County Council members. My name is Will Corbin. I'm with Panda Programmer, a provider of child care and educational services here in the county. We run primarily in-school, after-school programs, as well as summer camps and weekend classes. I'm cautiously optimistic to hear about the $7.6 million grant for school-age child care during distance learning. My understanding is that currently only one provider per school is able to provide support for school-age kids' distance learning. These providers are the big ones in the county. My concern is that other valuable small to medium-sized daycare and education companies are being left out of the remote learning scene inside MCPS schools. And I hope that the grant money will not go exclusively to those big companies. Our company, Panda Programmer, has been supplying after-school services to elementary and middle school students in the county for over 5 years. We teach students how to program computers. Before the pandemic hit, we were teaching in approximately 25 MCPS schools. We've inquired with the ICB CUPF about renting school space for remote learning, and we've been told that only one provider, once again, the big ones, is allowed to rent space in each school at least through Jan 29, 2021. In many cases, the company that's eligible to provide remote learning services at a school is not currently providing any services at the school. As a result, no remote learning services are currently being provided at these schools. Travilla, DeFeef, and Diamond Elementary Schools are 3 examples of schools where the single provider is not providing any services at the school.
Mr. Corbin,
Please
my
don't
apologies.
exclude.
Your time is up, Mr. Corbin. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, please
Thank
don't
you.
exclude the.
Our next speaker will be Chris Jones.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. I am a clinical social worker by discipline and a foster and adoptive parent here in Montgomery County. Earlier this month, I sent an email out to all of you asking for help. We've had an extremely difficult time trying to find childcare during the day for our 11-year-old foster daughter. While my wife and I work, my wife is a teacher. I serve adolescents in the public mental health system. One of the things that's been most concerning for us during the pandemic, we were able to find a child care center, actually Celebrate in Germantown, who's been very gracious and very charitable so far with us. But I think going forward, we're going to need this appropriation. I think this bill is an amazing step forward for so many of us, because I think the reality is that not only do we have to take care of our own families, but we're trying to do our best for these foster children as well. And I fear that if we can't get some of this money and this funding going, that we're going to be looking at potential loss or turnover of placements for these children. And in reality, all that's going to do is further the trauma that they've been through in their lives already. So I think this is a great move for us as a county. I've reached out to the state level, the Maryland State Department of Education, Department of Human Services, and I don't think they're moving fast enough on this, but I do appreciate you guys taking this up and making this something that we can all do together for the children in our community. And I just want to thank you for that from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker will be Byron Johns. Mr. Johns, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good afternoon, Council President Katz and council members. I am providing these comments on behalf of the Black and Brown Coalition and the highly impacted students and families we advocate for. You have my full written statement. We do not have a position with respect to the proposed bill. However, provide as a point of information that I will be before the Education and Culture Committee on October 5th to seek funds for expansion of the Educational Equity and Enrichment Hub program, which we have partnered with Children's Opportunity Fund and are currently operating at Sedgwick, Daly, Wheaton Woods, and Brown Station Elementary Schools. I want to make you aware of the reasons we're advocating for funding the expansion. The Children's Opportunity Fund has been nimble in working with child care providers and streamlined access for families to get the most impacted and vulnerable students into hubs immediately. The Sedgwick Hub was granted access September 10th and was open with its first cohort September 14th. Now in its third week, the operation is full with 52 students, which is the maximum. The need is immediate. For 5 highly impacted students and families. Several students at Sedgwick had never participated in virtual classes until attending the Hub. The Hub program is available now. Providers are ready to scale up, and with additional funding through Children's Opportunity Fund, the access to schools and more hubs can be opened next week. Fairfax Schools opened 37 hubs September 8th, now serving 2,000 students. Baltimore City Public Schools opened 15 hubs yesterday to serve 1,000. We are behind. Additionally, when schools reopen with hybrid learning, vulnerable kids will need hubs to access virtual learning 3 out of 5 days every week. We need county leadership now to help resolve what public and private spaces will be made available to transition the hub's operation to. The planning for next semester needs to start now, or we will be late again. We ask for your support.
Okay. Your
Thank
time
you.
is up, sir. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Ben Wickner.
Greetings, President Katz and council members. My comments are on behalf of myself as a concerned citizen and community leader, as well as pastor of Cross Community. I want to thank you for taking up the critical issue of funding school-age childcare during distance learning. The realities of COVID-19 has certainly tried us all, and virtual learning has not been easy or ideal for anyone. However, it's been especially harmful for the poorest and most vulnerable. There exist various options for students in the school year, but these options are unaffordable or require flexibility and work that does not exist for high-impact households. Our organization, Cross Community, has been helping to feed over 1,000 of these households every week through our food distributions, and we can testify to the high-impact needs of this community. We knew something had to be done, and so we collaborated with others to launch the first Educational Equity and Enrichment Hub on September 14th at Sedgwick, which you've already heard about. Our vision and intention was to replicate this throughout the county for equity purposes. And so we applaud the county's initiative and support this proposed distance learning bill. However, we have two concerns. One, that the impact of this funding will benefit MCPS students and households in general, which is fine, but that it will not substantively meet the needs of those who actually need it the most and have no other options. And secondly, we're concerned that the time it will take to approve and execute this program will be too long, and too much of the semester will have been lost before these students can be enrolled and engaged. Let me say that having been intimately involved with the launching of the Sedgwick Pilot Hub, I can attest that the need is immediate, and the challenges are many to re-engage students from high-impact households in virtual learning. But it must be done. The testimonies we are receiving are powerful and compelling. We are engaging students that previously were disconnected, some who had not even logged into the MCPS virtual learning portal. And as one parent has shared with us, the Sedgwick Hub is a lifesaver. So we get it, how important this is. And so we want to appeal to you to pass this bill, but to amend it so as to allow for a portion of it to fund and expand the already in place and operating hub launched by the COF. This will utilize
Mr. Wickner,
yes.
My apologies, your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Bob Sickles. Mr. Sickles, you may begin. Mr. Sickles, are you there? We'll move on then to Mr. Rory Richardson and come back to Mr. Sickles if he can get his audio unmuted. So we'll go to Mr. Richardson next. You may begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Rory Richardson, and I'm the Director of Community Outreach for Barty and the parent of 2 school-age MCPS students. The childcare industry has been hit particularly hard during this pandemic. While we were able to operate a childcare program for emergency personnel, we were forced to close our school-based childcare programs in the spring, lose months of revenue, and have had to furlough many of our dedicated staff members. We modified our summer camp plans to support smaller groups of children, increased health and safety procedures, and were able to give a few hundred children a place to get outside and have fun with their friends, all without a single case of COVID. We're extremely grateful for the partnership with the other childcare providers, Montgomery County Public Schools, and community use of public facilities that has allowed us to open distant learning hubs based in school buildings this year. We've expanded this model and are excited to be the provider for the first educational equity and enrichment hub at Sedgwick Elementary. With the support of Children's Opportunity Fund, we've partnered with the Black and Brown Coalition, as well as community leaders, to provide a program for at-risk and low-income students. As you've already heard, we've had 4 cohorts open at Sedgwick and are working diligently to obtain additional space to expand the program, as well as new locations that have been requested from both principals and families. What we learned very quickly is that while their grown-ups are doing the very best they can, many of these students had not yet logged onto the virtual learning classroom until they got into our program. I share this with you to illustrate both the need for funding for scholarships and to do it quickly. Every day that passes where these children aren't able to get the distance learning support they need leaves them further behind when there's a child care program ready to work with them. As licensed child care providers, we look forward to continue to partner with the community and appreciate your support of the special appropriation for school-age child care during distance learning.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sickles, are you able to unmute and give us your testimony, sir? I believe it's *6. Well, Mr. President, I see he is on the line, but we're not hearing him. I'll leave it up to you as to if you'd like to close the public hearing or leave it open to see if we can get Mr. Sickles back on.
Well, why don't we close the public hearing? If Mr. Sickles comes back, we'll reopen the public hearing. But it seems like he's having difficulty because I see his name, but I don't see that he can take off the mute. So with that, we're going to close the public hearing with the idea that if Mr. Sickles comes back, we will reopen it. But I did want to mention that this resolution certainly increases families' access to full day care while Montgomery County Public Schools is meeting virtually. It removes barriers to assessing full day child care subsidies for families nurturing school-age children in foster care. The special appropriation also ensures that programs in each type of facility had access to some relief and reopening funds over the course of the health emergency. In addition, we anticipate the generous rate of reimbursement under the tuition support provision will be wide-reaching, increasing the demand for full-day school-age child care services and supporting the operations of child care centers, registered family child care homes, and letter of compliance programs. We know that this is not a panacea for child care providers, and families, and that is why we will continue to monitor and evaluate the needs of both as we move forward. And again, I want to thank personally the many people who work so hard on this special appropriation. Vivian Yao of Air Central staff, Mary Guise of my staff, and the Coalition of Child Care Providers, Health and Human Services, and so many, many more. Councilmember Rice, please.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. Let me just say again that I think that, look, I've heard a lot of what the folks who have commented and their concerns about the expediency with which we can stand up and continue to expand on the existing hubs, as well as making sure that we're focusing on doing some new and innovative things as well, and standing up some other organizations that haven't been stood up yet. I think we can do it all. So it's clear that we need to move forward with this funding, while also on October 5th, look at how we can continue to support some of these great hubs that are doing great things in the community. And so I think there's room to do all. There certainly is a need to do all. And so from that perspective, I think we'll get there. Especially for my folks who are working with the Black and Brown Coalition, who have done some great job in the community at this point, standing up these great hubs and working with the Children's Opportunity Fund. And I really want to thank Councilmember Navarro. Look, we continue to talk about Children's Opportunity Fund. It wouldn't be in existence if it weren't for her great leadership and work in terms of making that happen. And the whole idea was to be able to do things just like this, to be nimble, to operate outside of government, to be able to ensure that these can be responsive. And so from that perspective, I think we're there. I think that folks have been heard loud and clear, and that the commitment is there, just as we did with our food hubs throughout the community, and making sure that we're standing those up, and then having other resources to provide to give assistance to other organizations in the community that want to answer the call for food insecurity. When it comes to education security as well, I think the same thing will happen. And so we'll see that on October 5th. But I think that this money certainly needs to move forward. The need is great. It certainly is well vetted, and will certainly get us to where we need to be, in addition to what we look to do on October 5th.
Did you want to make a motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that part. And so I'd like to go ahead and move that we approve the $7 million.
Thank you. Councilmember Navarro.
I second that. I really appreciate everybody who came to testify. I think what has been shared with us is very important information that I hope leading up to the October 5th committee session, I hope that we can start working on a proposal. I continue to be very interested in making sure that we are deploying our dollars in a consistent and also that we can leverage. And so what the Children Opportunity Fund has done, what these hubs have done, et cetera, really fit into that category very nicely. And I want to say how much I am concerned and how much I appreciate the comments about being able to be nimble and flexible. That is so key right now. One thing I will observe also and share is that because we have a racial equity and social justice law, every single appropriation, every single legislation that we adopt has to take into consideration the needs of those who are disproportionately affected by systemic racism. So my expectation is that this, as all the other special appropriations, would have to look at that very carefully and deploy the resources in a targeted way. But be sure, all of those who have testified, stay tuned for that October 5th session, and I hope to be able to work with my colleagues to put together a request so that we can expand and solidify the efforts already underway. And I also hope that MCPS can work with us to identify existing funding to support those kinds of hubs, because they no doubt are able to help in MCPS's ultimate mission, which is to ensure that those students, especially the most vulnerable, continue to receive access, supports, and access to opportunity, especially during this very difficult time. So I see Miss Vivian Yao is on there, and I know that between her and Miss Macmillan, et cetera, that we can hopefully begin to work on some kind of proposal that would address all of those issues, because time is of the essence, and I appreciate the urgency with which folks testified today. I feel the same urgency, and I hope that we can come together and propose something. Thank you.
Thank you. There's been a motion by Councilmember Rice, seconded by Councilmember Navarro. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And that carries unanimously. Thank you very much. I think that's unanimous. We're not missing anybody, are we? I think we got everybody. Okay. The next item is item number 12. This is a public hearing on a supplemental appropriation to Montgomery County's Public Schools FY21 operating budget in the amount of $1,117,512 for the Broadband for Unserved Students Grant. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. Ms. Kennedy, it is my understanding there are no speakers for this hearing. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, no speakers for this hearing.
Thank you. We will close this public hearing. And is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Rice.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Reamer. All of those, see no speakers, all those in favor, please raise your hand. And that carries unanimously as well. Okay. The next item that we have is item number 13. And this is a public hearing on supplemental appropriation of Montgomery County Public Schools FY21 operating budget in the amount of $13,241,438 for the tutoring program grant. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. Ms. Kennedy, it is my understanding we do have speakers for this hearing.
Yes, we have one speaker, and that would be Leah Bradley. Ms. Bradley, you may begin your testimony.
Good afternoon. I am Leah Bradley, Executive Director of Empowering the Ages, an organization aimed at connecting people to each other and their communities to share, learn, and feel valued. Thank you for this opportunity to testify. I'm delighted that Montgomery County Public Schools is advocating for tutoring dollars to support students during virtual learning and throughout the 2020-21 school year in order to ensure that all students are learning and understanding to their full potential. I am here today because I believe that a portion of these funds can be utilized to engage older community members in the tutoring and thereby allowing more students to be supported while providing a critical social outlet for older adults in the community. By working with community nonprofits, the County Council will also be supporting vital community organizations who are capable of supporting the youth of the county. Empowering the Ages has the ability to design a cross-generational tutoring program in a variety of safe and healthy ways and start immediately. During this tumultuous time in the county, we can support two very important populations who need each other and have assets and strengths to share with one another. This type of tutoring relationship will improve the academic success of youth while providing much-needed mentoring and support. We, Empowering the Ages, stand in partnership with MCPS to implement such a program immediately. Thank you for considering this as an option for a portion of the requested MCPS funds.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, that wraps up the speakers for this public hearing.
Thank you. We will close this public hearing. And Councilmember Rice.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'd like to go ahead and move the appropriation of $13,241,438. I would just like to say to Ms. Bradley from Empowering the Ages, as well as organizations like Mentorprise, it has always been our discussion with MCPS that the expectation would be that they would continue to partner with great organizations to leverage and make those dollars go farther, working with nonprofits in our community. And so we will remind MCPS of our insistence upon utilizing those resources and relationships that are incredibly important as we continue to try and stretch every single dollar that we have, especially during these very fiscally challenging times. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Jawando. It's been moved by Councilmember Rice, seconded by Councilmember Giwando. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that carries unanimously. Thank you very much. The next item that we have is agenda item number 14, and this is a public hearing on a supplemental appropriation of Montgomery County Public Schools FY21 operating budget in the amount of $18,344,404 for the Technology Programs Grant. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. Ms. Kennedy, it is my understanding there are no speakers. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We will close this public hearing. And is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Reamer, seconded by Councilmember Rice. He was close on the first one. Okay.
That's fine.
It's been moved by Councilmember Reamer, seconded by Councilmember Rice. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that carries unanimously. On my screen, part of my problem is people have jumped all over the place. I can't tell whether we had 9. Now it's very nice. I have 6 on this side and 3 over here. Makes it very simple for me. So I appreciate my screen helping me out. The next item is item number 15. This is a public hearing on a supplemental appropriation of Montgomery County Public Schools FY21 operating budget in the amount of $1,748,276 for the Governor's Emergency Education Relief, also known as GEAR Fund Grant. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. Ms. Kennedy, is my understanding no speakers. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
This public hearing is now closed. Who would like to make the motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Reamer.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Navarro. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And it carries by 9, 6 and 3. Okay. The next item that we have is agenda item 3C. It's not exactly in the right order here, but 3C. This is a public hearing on a resolution to authorize Montgomery County application for community development block grant funds for emergency rental assistance. Action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. And Ms. Kennedy, it is my understanding we do have speakers.
Yes, there are 2 speakers for this public hearing. The first is Asim Nagam. Mr. Nagam, you may begin.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, Council President and Council members. My name is Asim Nagam, Director of the Department of Housing Community Affairs. I'm here on behalf of the County Executive in support of resolution to authorize Montgomery County application for Community Development Block Grant Funds for Emergency Rental Assistance. Montgomery County is applying for $15 million from Maryland Community Development Block Grant COVID Funding Round 2 Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And Maryland DHCD has requested applications from all counties and the City of Baltimore for $15 million. The program has no maximum amount for applications, and guidance from Maryland DHCD has encouraged applicants to apply for an amount needed. The program will provide rent assistance for up to $4,000 per household to low-income households earning up to 80% of AMI who have had COVID-related income loss. Landlords receiving these payments will agree not to begin eviction actions for the number of months equal to the number of months of past due rent paid. The state program will allow disbursement through calendar year 2021. At this time, an estimated 20,000 Montgomery County rental households, about 15% of the total 130,000 rental households, are experiencing rental delinquency. The county so far has committed over $25 million in rental assistance through various programs, and these programs will likely provide rental relief to about 7,000 households. The remaining 13,000 delinquent households who may not be able to participate in these existing programs represent a need for additional $52 million to provide $4,000 per household assistance. If these funds are awarded to us, we'll start our application process beginning in December based on the availability of the funds from the Maryland DHCD. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Rob Goldman. Mr. Goldman, you may begin.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Good afternoon, Council President Katz and members of the Council. My name is Robert Goldman, and I'm the President of Montgomery Housing Partnership. I'm testifying in support of the county's application to the state for CDBG funds and for emergency rental assistance. As you all know, the need for rental assistance in the county far exceeds available resources. The funds that have been committed to rental assistance to date will reach fewer than half of estimated 20,000 residents behind on rent. For this reason, we need to pursue every available option to provide additional rental assistance to county residents, such as this application to the state for CDBG dollars. Affordable housing providers like MHP are doing their part to ensure that residents receive the maximum amount of assistance that they are eligible for. In the immediate wake of COVID, MHP made the decision to reposition our existing staff to serve on a resident outreach team that would educate and assist residents in applying for a variety of assistance programs, including food, utilities, financial, and rental assistance. What's more, we have played a similar role with non-MHP residents through the apartment assistance program, which supports small landlords in the county. This past spring, we also established a resident emergency fund from private donations and have distributed tens of thousands of dollars to residents in rental assistance and direct financial assistance. More recently, we applied on behalf of our residents for rental assistance through a program offered by the state. Thanks to the efforts of the dedicated staff at MHP, more than $220,000 in tenant delinquencies were wiped out, which benefited hundreds of residents across our portfolio. Despite all of the public and private resources that are available to our residents, many continue to be multiple months behind in their rent and will never be able to pay back their back rent if not for outside assistance. We appreciate the county executive and county council pursuing every available option to provide rental assistance to residents and keep every resident stably housed during this public health crisis. Thank you in advance for your support of this resolution.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, that wraps up the speakers for this public hearing.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion? That we will close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
I move.
It's been moved by Councilmember Glass, seconded by Vice President Hucker. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that carries unanimously as well. Thank you.
Council President Katz,
Yes.
I believe you needed a motion to suspend the rules first before the motion for action.
Okay, then if you believe that, Ms. McMillan, then I believe that. So we're going to need a motion to suspend the rules. But who would like to move that, please?
I'll move.
It has been moved by Councilmember Friedson, seconded by Councilmember Rice to suspend the rules. All those in favor, please raise your hand. The rules are now suspended. We're going to go back to the motion again, just to be on the safer side, and that was made by Councilmember Glass and seconded by Councilmember Vice President Hucker. All those in favor, please raise your hand, and that carries unanimously a second time. Thank you very much. And thank you, Ms. McMillan, for keeping me on the straight and narrow on that topic. I need help on many other topics as well. The next item that we have is item 16, which is for legislative day number 28. The first item on that we had one that has been now postponed, but the first item on the under legislative day is Bill 4220, Ethics, Public Accountability, and Transparency Amendments. The lead sponsor is Councilmember Friedson. Co-sponsor is Council Members Rice and Katz. And Councilmember Friedson would like to speak.
Thank you, Council President, and I am very pleased to put forward and introduce this legislation. It reflects the fact that our only currency in public life is public trust. It's the foundation for how we can effectively perform the work of local government for local residents. It's paramount to safeguarding the public's trust in ensuring that government officials cannot use their positions of public service in the interest of private gain. Recent events, both in county government and around the state, have made clear that we have areas that we must strengthen to boost accountability and transparency and to safeguard the public's trust. Bill 4220, the Public Accountability and County Transparency Act, or the PACT Act, will raise the ethical standards of our county government by defining the sales of books and other intellectual property as outside employment to ensure that it's reported transparently and accountably to the public, prohibit the CAO, the single most important person overseeing the day-to-day operations of county government, from having additional outside employment, would require the disclosure of fees of more than $1,000 collected from elected and appointed officials through other employment, with certain legal exceptions to be reported as financial disclosure, and other changes related to the procurement processes and then transparency of proposed contracts for county government employees to ensure that the public knows what potential conflicts of interest they may be, and that county government does everything within its power to ensure that they're avoided at all costs. The companion legislation we'll be taking up next is Bill 4320, which will end the controversial practice of using taxpayer dollars to provide discretionary severance. It's a practice that is completely unregulated and frequently unreported, and is rife with ethical concerns, as we've seen at several levels of government. The standards are unclear, and there is basically no transparency or accountability, and this practice simply should not be allowed in Montgomery County. Bill 4320 would also prohibit separation pay for employees who admitted to violating or were found guilty of violating the county ethics law within 12 months of their separation. These are important and substantive changes that make it clear that we will not tolerate in county government any leader who uses their taxpayer-funded position for their own private interests. It also builds off the significant work that the Government Operations and Fiscal Policy Committee led with the strengthening of the Office of the Inspector General, and that this council has pushed forward in terms of significant additional funding to make sure that we have the resources necessary to safeguard this sacred public trust. Passing these two bills, this one and the one we will be taking up next, will ensure that these practices of unethical behavior are unacceptable, that they're unethical, and that we demonstrate that they hurt our county's collective ability to effectively govern. It's about the workforce having the faith in its leadership, and it's about the public having faith in its elected and appointed leaders. I want to particularly thank Council President Katz, Council Members Rice, Class, and Navarro, who have all signed on to co-sponsor both of these pieces of legislation, and I sincerely look forward to working with each of you on these two pieces of legislation to safeguard public trust, to ensure accountability and transparency, and to continue the work that this council has continued to demonstrate in terms of these critical efforts to demonstrate the highest levels of ethical standards that Montgomery County should pride itself on. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I appreciate Councilmember Friedson for introducing this package of legislation to create even more transparent government here locally, so that all of our residents have faith and trust in the work of our leaders, of the leaders of this $5.8 billion endeavor that is local government. And so I appreciate the thoughtful nature in which this was put together. I know that the packet in front of us, the one at least I had, did not list me as an original co-sponsor, but I'm glad that it's been noted. So thank you, and look forward to ensuring that every resident of Montgomery County knows that its leaders are doing everything we can morally and ethically to do right by our residents. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Navarro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also want to thank my colleague, Councilmember Friedson, for continuing to work so hard to strengthen many of our practices, because it is so important to continually review and strengthen what is in place. And I think that this is a very great step forward with Bill 4220 and 4320. I too want to make sure I am reflected as the co-sponsor, and I look forward to our conversation in the Government Operations Committee in order to, again, I think, strengthen the public's trust, but also make things very clear so that we don't have similar situations as the one we had recently occur. So thank you.
Thank you. And this public hearing is scheduled for 10/20/20 at 10/20/2020 at 1:30 p.m. The next bill, which has already been mentioned, is Bill 4320, and that's Non-Merit Employees Merit System Employees Severance Pay Limited. Lead sponsor is Councilmember Friedson. Co-sponsors are Councilmember Rice, Katz, and I'm assuming Glass and Navarro, if that's correct.
Yes.
Yes. I see some head shaking here. And that is also, the public hearing is scheduled for 10/20/2020 at 1:30 p.m. The next bill is Bill 4420, and that's Racial Equity and Social Justice Impact Statements, Advisory Committee Amendments. The lead sponsor is Councilmember Navarro. The co-sponsors are Councilmembers Chawando, Albornoz, Hucker, Reamer, Friedson, Katz, Glass, and Rice. And the public hearing is scheduled for 10/20/2020 at 1:30 p.m. And Councilmember Navarro, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I want to thank all my colleagues for co-sponsoring this particular bill. What we're doing here, again, is strengthening something that we passed last year. And I want to also particularly thank the Muslim community activists and leaders who reached out regarding their interest in participating in the advisory committee. And I also want to thank Valeria Carranza, who is the Chief of Staff for Councilmember Glass, who brought up a very important point, which had to do with zoning text amendments. And so what this particular bill wants to do is to make sure that the executive have the ability to have two more public members for the advisory committee, but also for him to have the flexibility to appoint ad hoc structures within that committee to allow for greater community input. So, for example, if there are particular issues of interest that maybe require some more in-depth or targeted examination, the executive would have the right to appoint an ad hoc group to go deeper into those issues. And so I think it's a nice way to strike a balance to, again, give the executive who ultimately appoints the members to have some flexibility. And also in terms of county, in terms of zoning text amendments, very important because the goal of the original bill was most certainly to ensure that all the decisions that we make, that it has that kind of examination that lends racial equity and social justice. And this was definitely an oversight that I'm glad was brought up and we're able to hopefully address. So that is really the gist of the bill. And again, I really do want to thank everyone who are co-sponsoring, all my colleagues. And I understand that we have a public hearing on October 20th. Thank you.
On October 20th, yes. Council Vice President Hucker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this is a great bill, a great catch. Councilwoman Navarro, I'm glad to be co-sponsoring it, but my text, Mr. President, referred to the previous one, so I was hoping to be added as a co-sponsor to the previous two bills as well. I want to thank my colleague, Councilman Friedson.
Thank you. I'm sure that they have picked that up, that you were going to be added.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good. Thank you. And Councilmember Reamer.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Councilmember Navarro for taking the time to, put forward some revisions to the Racial Equity Social Justice Law. Indeed, I had been under the impression that we were going to apply that to zoning changes, and so, like Ms. Navarro was surprised to see. And so this is a welcome clarification. We have been putting it into practice. When we took up the accessory dwelling units legislation and zoning change last year. We looked at that through the lens of racial equity and social justice, and it was a very helpful conversation. I think it really clarified the issue and supported passage of that important housing policy. And we have continued to bring that discussion to the fore in our master plans and our zoning conversations. So I look forward to working on it. There are some very technical ZTAs can often be technical. So we may want to figure out some kind of approach for when they are sort of de minimis technical issues, but this is a really an important application of this policy framework. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is another example of legislation being a collaborative process. And I so appreciate Councilmember Navarro's original equity legislation. And as we applied that and learned from some stakeholders that there's even more that we can do, I'm glad that feedback was incorporated, and here we are doing more. And the thoughts from my Chief of Staff, Valeria Carranza, about even doing more, I appreciate the openness for that collaborative spirit, because as we talk these days about land use and the scarcity of land, not only here in Montgomery County, but across the country, we want to make sure that we use that scarce resource in fair and equitable ways. And so I think it makes absolute sense that zoning text amendments and how we look at our all of our land use policies be brought into bear through an equity lens. So thank you, Councilmember Navarro, for continuing to push forward on this important legislation, and glad to be a co-sponsor.
Thank you. And as was noted, the public hearing is scheduled for 10/20/2020 at 1:30 p.m. The next item that we have is item number 17, and it's call of bills for final reading. The first one is Bill 4020, Uniform Traders License Fee. The Government Operation Committee has recommended approval as introduced. Councilmember Navarro, did you have a further statement than that?
Yes, I do. Well, first I want to thank Ms. Willens for her great packet and staffing us. This particular bill was introduced by lead sponsors, Councilmembers Glass and Friedson, co-sponsors myself, Councilmember Rice, Councilmember Albornoz, Council President Katz, and Councilmember Reamer. It was introduced on September 15th, 2020, and we did have a public hearing on September 22nd. So this bill will select a uniform trader's license fee under state law. The license fee would be $15. In 2019, state law was amended to permit counties to select a uniform trader's license fee. This trader's license is required by the state to operate certain retail stores and exhibitors. The fee is collected by the circuit court. Right now, the amount of the trader's fee can vary between $15 and $800, depending upon the value of the trader's stock in trade, and the state and county share in the fee revenue. Under the bill, the fee would be $15 for all traders, and the state would keep all the revenues from the fee. Basically, the bill requires the Director of Finance to communicate the county selection to the State Comptroller and to the State Department of Assessments and Taxation on or before October 1st, 2020. The bill further specifies that although the selection of a uniform fee is irrevocable under state law, the county may revoke the selection if state law changes. Basically, we discussed, the Government Operations and Fiscal Policy Committee discussed the fiscal and economic impacts of the bill, including that the bill would reduce administrative burdens on businesses within the county. We do know that, of course, the bill will have no fiscal impact on municipalities, but right now we also know that if the bill is enacted, all traders' fee revenues in the county will accrue to the state, not to the county. So obviously, for the county revenue, that would be zero. The economic impact obviously had a lot to do with how we're trying to help as much as possible small businesses. We know that those with significant stock in trade and local jurisdictions that choose to adopt uniform fees benefit from reduced license fees. And so for the committee, this was something that was of importance. As it was, I think, noted by Councilmember Friedson, it may seem like a small thing, but actually it does, can add up, and it's just one more step and one more act that we can take up to alleviate this impact on our small businesses. And with that, what I can tell you is that we did recommend that we adopt the bill, and it was unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Friedson.
My mouse is acting up. I was going to say, am I on mute to your earlier comment, Council President Katz? Thank you to our GO chair and for that. I think you covered all the key points. Just wanted to appreciate your leadership on this, and Councilmember Glass. I think we've proved that the county doesn't necessarily need to hire Delegate Carr to take advantage of some of his work, and we did so here, and appreciated his partnership. It came at the right cost for his services, his work at the state level, which we appreciate his partnership on helping with this effort, and really do want to also appreciate and thank the executive branch. This is a tight time frame, something we needed to move on very quickly, and when Councilmember Glass and I reached out to the executive branch, there was full support to move forward as quickly as possible to make sure we get this in under the wire and ensure that the businesses are going to receive this support on the turn of the new year, on January 1st, 2021, which is obviously significant given the moment that we're in, the challenges that restaurants and retailers in particular are being hit. And I hope this is just one of many examples as we continue our work to look at ways that we can eliminate bureaucratic red tape, unnecessary regulations that were put in place in the mid-1800s for merchants that are no longer relevant to our modern economy, and also to save costs, however large and however modest, for businesses so they can compete locally, particularly brick and mortar local businesses that really need our help and our support, that are such an important part of our communities and of our main streets all across the county, and certainly are struggling now in a way that they haven't, and more so than they perhaps ever have before. So thank you, and look forward to final passage on this so we can provide this level of relief to our local businesses at a time when they desperately need it.
Thank you. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you, Mr. President. We all know that this is a challenging year for all of our small businesses, and this modest piece of legislation is going to help them save some money. Modest is certainly the word, but we're doing something. And it's just yet another effort of county government stepping up and streamlining our processes and procedures to fit the modern time. And so I appreciate the co-sponsors. I appreciate working with Councilmember Friedson, the original sponsors in the state legislature, Delegate Al Carr and Senator Ben Kramer. And then just from my office, I do want to thank Valeria Carranza and Sean Emerson for their work to move this forward as expeditiously as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see no other speakers. This has been this is a recommendation from the Government Operations Committee. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. And we have all 9. Thank you very much. Councilmember Friedson was a little slow on that, but that's okay. I knew where his heart was. I knew he was going to vote.
I got a lot of bills today, Mr. President. I'm trying to keep up.
Okay,
This is a roll call
It's
vote.
difficult.
Mr.
Is it
President,
a roll call?
this is a roll
Is it a
call.
roll call?
Well, there it goes. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll, please?
Mr. Glass.
Oh, you're me again. So.
Yes.
Mr. Glass votes yes. Mr. Duwando?
Yes.
Mr. Duwando votes yes. Mr. Reamer?
Yes.
Mr. Reamer votes yes. Ms. Navarro?
Yes.
Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Albornoz?
Yes.
Mr. Albornoz votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Friedson?
Yes.
Mr. Friedson votes yes. Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker votes yes. Mr. Katz?
Yes. So that carries unanimously as well. Thank you very much. The next item that we have is Bill 620, which is solid waste trash, release of balloons. A Transportation and Environment Committee recommends approval with amendments. There again, I can hear myself in the background. And Vice President Hucker, did you have a statement or two about this?
Hopefully just one. Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, to remind you all from the days before COVID, when we had the introduction, occasionally residents plan mass releases of balloons to celebrate all kinds of events. They can be beautiful, but they all come down and they end up often in the digestive tracts of seabirds and turtles and even the ponies on Assateague Island. In fact, they're the #1 killer of seabirds. Not to mention that these events are essentially planned littering. So we heard from numerous environmental and animal rights groups in support of the bill, as well as the county executive and Senator Lamb, who's sponsoring this legislation at the state level, and believed our action would help that passage. The committee hearing went well, and the committee recommended the bill with 3 amendments. One is it clarified that the intentional release, it expanded the bill to make sure that we are covering our own county agencies, that the intentional release of balloons.
Michelle Parsons, you need to go on mute.
Sydney, you might want to hit mute.
Well, that's not from me.
Oh.
We got it.
I think that's from the council chambers, from the staff that's working on making sure that the technology is working.
I think we're good. So our agencies are covered as the First Amendment, since we should practice what we preach. It clarifies that the bill applies only when a person intentionally releases a balloon from within the county and not when they're outside the county. Clarifies that the presumption under the bill is that the owner of the private property from which the balloon is released is responsible, even if an enforcement officer cannot determine the specific person who released the balloon, as that's a rebuttable presumption. So if you organize a party with a balloon release as part of it, you're the one responsible, not every individual. And finally, I just wanted on that point to clarify that DEP, which is doing a great job of educating the public about our recycling laws, which have recently expanded, and our pesticide laws, emphasized in the hearing that they want to focus on education and outreach to sellers of balloons and to venues that host events to make sure that they are aware of the new law if we were to pass it. So that's what we have in mind. The committee recommended it 3-0 with those amendments. And with that, you have a recommended bill, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. And now there again, is this roll call? Is this one and the next one roll call, or are these hand votes?
Yes, sir. It's a roll call vote.
Both of the next two. So for Bill 620, Transportation and Environment Committee recommended approval with amendments. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Glass?
Yes.
Mr. Glass votes yes. Mr. Tuando?
Yes.
Mr. Tuando votes yes. Mr. Reamer? Mr. Reamer votes yes. Ms. Navarro?
Yes.
Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Friedson?
Yes.
Mr. Friedson votes yes. Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker votes yes. Mr. Katz?
Yes, that carries unanimously. Thank you very much. The next bill for final reading is Bill 1020, Property Tax Credit, Energy and Environmental Design, Eligibility of Criteria and Amounts of Credit. Both the Joint Committee of Government Operations and Transportation and Environment Committee recommended approval with amendments. Councilmember Navarro or Council Vice President Hucker, both of you could certainly speak to this. Councilmember Navarro, would you like to speak first?
Well, Vice President Hucker actually chaired the committee, so I'll let him report on our work.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please chime in. The committee recommended approval of this bill, Mr. President, 6-0 with the following amendments. We built in a transition period between the current tax credit and the new credits taking effect. We differentiated between the credits for new buildings and the credits for existing buildings, and we added in a provision for bonus credits for certain types of high-level green building certifications, and we explicitly stated that this authority comes from the state enabling law for these tax credits. So I think this is entirely in line with our land use goals and our climate goals, and we recommend approval. Madam Chair?
That was perfect.
Very good. Councilmember Friedson.
Thank you to both chairs and to the council president. I am really excited about this bill. It falls under the category of my best ideas are never mine. This was the work of a broad stakeholder group that came together to come up with really thoughtful suggestions of how we take our existing green energy building tax credit program and actually ensure that it works for the goals that we have, which is to drastically reduce our energy consumption, which we desperately need to do to reach our ambitious environmental sustainability goals. Per the latest county greenhouse gas emissions report, commercial building use is responsible for 26% of emissions in the county. This bill will put in place the recommendations of the DEP-led work group of private sector officials, climate advocates, and private sector representatives to incentivize the significant reduction of a commercial or multifamily building's energy use. It really is a great demonstration of the public and private sector working together to achieve something that will provide real energy savings and actual green buildings above and beyond the baseline requirements in our building code, which we are continuously updating and strengthening. It's the stick and not just the carrot to move forward in a collaborative way. And now anyone who wants a green building tax credit for either a new or existing building will have to demonstrate energy reduction above and beyond what's already mandated. The more energy that is reduced, the more tax credit you're eligible for, with limits on certain caps, of course. But that is how the system should work. The more you do, the more you get, the harder we work together to address these significant climate challenges that we have. We have, work together with the executive branch to tweak this, to make sure that it fully reflects the stakeholder group's recommendations. This will be a much more effective tool than simply using existing standards like LEED and otherwise, and it will allow us to really tackle a significant piece of the climate goals that we have by drastically reducing our energy consumption. Appreciate Councilmember Reamer for co-leading this effort with us, and everybody on the council, everybody who participated in the work group, and all of the members of DEP and the executive branch for what truly has been and will continue to be a collaborative effort to address our significant climate goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Reamer.
Thank you very much. I want to thank my co-lead sponsor, Councilmember Friedson, for his work on this legislation, and particularly want to thank the working group, the private sector partners who came together over a long period of time to consider our county's approach to green buildings and how we could strengthen those laws and this tax incentive. This is really, it establishes a stretch goal for the green tax incentive for these new significant buildings that can adapt as the county's own goals, are strengthened over time. This tax incentive will kind of keep pace with it. And I think that's an important point, because there was a little bit of a problem with the previous tax incentive. Our own building code was sort of catching up to the requirements of the tax incentive, and that was something that was not going to be sustainable for the future. So as a result of making this change, I hope we're going to get a good number of new buildings in the future that will strive for a very, very high level of energy performance and environmental, sustainability. A lot of people have asked us what we're doing about sustainability and climate protection in the Down County. This is a good example of a policy that is focused on where development is happening, where we're getting new buildings in the county. We're obviously not getting new buildings like this in the Ag Reserve, so it's not a relevant concept there. But where we're getting new buildings, we're putting potentially millions of dollars a year behind incentives for new green buildings and for better energy performance. It is going to make a a small incremental improvement in our county's energy footprint or our climate footprint. It'll take ultimately decades, before it, I think, has a broad scale impact. So, fires in California are raging now, and the smoke is choking the entire state, and there are storms that are devastating our coasts, and the terrible reality of climate change is not in the future, it's here now, and we need to match this solution with solutions that can very quickly reduce our own climate impact and stop emissions of coal and gas and other kinds of fossil fuel generating sources. So this is one way to reduce the demand side. It's a good plan. Appreciate everybody and DEP's involvement in helping make it happen. And I thank my colleagues and urge their support.
Thank you. It has been, see no other speakers. It is a recommendation of the Joint Committee of Go and Transportation and Environment. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Glass.
Yes.
Mr. Glass votes yes. Mr. Tawando?
Yes.
Mr. Tawando votes yes. Mr. Reamer?
Yes.
Mr. Reamer votes yes. Ms. Navarro?
Yes.
Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Albornoz?
Yes.
Mr. Albornoz votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Friedson?
Yes.
Mr. Friedson votes yes. Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker votes yes. Mr. Katz?
Yes, and that carries unanimously as well. Thank you very much. The next item that we have is item number 18, and this is the District Council session. It's an introduction from Forest Glen / Montgomery Hill sectional map amendment. A public hearing is scheduled for November 10th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. And Councilmember Reamer, did you want to comment on that?
Thank you. I mean, I think this is sort of pro forma, as I understand, following up on the Forest Glen master plan. So we'll take it up in committee. Thank
you very much. And the next item that we have is an introduction, zoning text amendment 20-03, townhouse living conditional use standards. The public hearing is also scheduled for November the 10th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. And Councilmember Reamer, did you want to comment on no? Yes?
Yes, thank you.
I didn't know whether the hand up meant stop or begin.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead, yeah. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Thank you. This zoning text amendment is intended to address some of the policy framework that we previously put in place intended to facilitate design for life. Several years ago, Councilmember Rice co-sponsored a zoning text amendment that was really intended to help support developments that want to build universal design housing and allow them to put that housing where perhaps otherwise they wouldn't have been able to. So we were all really enthusiastic about that, but I think we were, in retrospect or in hindsight, we were a little bit too fixated on certain kinds of restrictions on how it could be used. And I think what we often see with these kinds of things is, we put in place these restrictions. We say you can only get this if you can pass through the eye of a needle. And then guess what happens? We don't get anything. So right now we have a project that's coming forward in Durwood that would like to build this kind of community and provide housing for people with significant disabilities, and they are, the land that they've identified is, ineligible. So the zoning text amendment would address that and generally relax the provisions a little bit, and I think hopefully ensure that the terrific vision that we have for this we can achieve. So it's an important lesson, I think, to me. We see this time and time again. Is so many people will raise different concerns. We'll put in certain restrictions. We'll all walk away thinking maybe we did something there, and then guess what? At the end of the day, we don't get what made it all worthwhile in the first place. So again, I want to thank Councilmember Rice for leading the council on this some years ago, and I know we'll be working together to bring this one across the line.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Rice.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you very much, Chair Reamer. This is incredibly important and one in which I think that folks in the differing abilities communities certainly look to this to be the example of the different things that we'll continue to be able to do in Montgomery County. And so from that perspective, I think that, again, allowing us some flexibility where we do see hurdles and challenges that we're not able to reach. Some of the other ones I think we need to have discussions about, including public bus service, something that we know is we continue to promote mass transit usage and make sure that our folks with differing abilities have that access, really pushing our Department of Transportation and making sure that they answer the call, much as we've seen with our senior developments to where ride-on bus service has been available and accessible to them. We want to see those same sort of things for our people who do have differing abilities, oftentimes who can't drive. And so from that perspective, we'll look at some of these, but I look forward to working with you on this. I think that it's great, again, that we're continuing to eliminate the hurdles and obstacles that are in the way of this project moving forward. But I do think there are some things that we need to just have a little bit more discussion on. So look forward to working with you on that. And thank you very much for your leadership.
Thank you. The next, and there again, that public hearing is on November 10th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. The next item that we have is something called adjourn, but for those of you who are very sad that our meeting is not continuing today, please note that we will be meeting again on Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon, where we'll be getting an update from the Board of Elections on what is happening with them. And we're going to be discussing the county executive's order, both as the Board of Health and as the county council. So thank you very much for being with us. We are adjourned.
Approximately 3 months.
Information. Please call the Transit Information Center at 240